Good morning. Today we are going to be classifying quadrilaterals. Before we start looking at quadrilaterals and what they are, I would like you all to do a little vocabulary check. So I want you to pause the video and have a go at matching each word to its meaning and start the video when you are ready. So how did you do with matching the word and its meaning? Were there any words you were not sure about? So let's have a look. We've got perpendicular. Perpendicular is a line at an angle of 90 degrees to another line. Equal, the same as. Bisect means divide something into two equal parts. Adjacent is next to. Right angle is an angle of 90 degrees. Parallel, lines that have the same distance between them and will never meet. Interior angle is an angle inside a shape, and diagonal is a straight line joining two opposite corners of a straight-sided shape, such as a square or a rectangle. Now let's have a look at what quadrilaterals are. A quadrilateral is a two-dimensional, or 2D as we say, figure with four sides and four angles. The word part, quad, means four, and lateral means sides, so four-sided shapes. Have a look around you. Do you see any shapes in the room that could be called quadrilaterals? Pause the video and have a good look around. So what kind of things did you find around you that had quadrilateral shapes? Here are some examples of quadrilaterals in the real world. We've got the side of a house, we've got a street sign, small biscuits, a microwave oven, a printed layout on a road. We've got the table and a patterned pavement. So, what is a quadrilateral? So a quadrilateral is a 2D shape, a four-sided shape. It has an interior angles, which means the inside angles all add up to 360 degrees, and all of its sides are straight. So it's going to be a polygon. So now we are going to look at some examples of some quadrilaterals. So starting off with, we've got a square. So let's have a recap of the properties of the square. That all sides are of equal length. Opposite sides are parallel. The inside angles are equal, and they are 90 degrees. Next we have a rectangle. We know the opposite sides are parallel and of equal length, and every angle is a right angle, so it equals 90 degrees. Here's a little challenge. Squares can be classified as rectangles, but not all rectangles can be classified as squares. Can you explain why? Pause the video if you will accept this challenge before moving on. So, were you able to tell me why squares could be classified as rectangles, but not all rectangles could be classified as squares? So, a rectangle has opposite sides of equal length and has four 90 degrees angles. A square has opposite sides of equal length and four 90 degrees angles. However, in a square, all of the sides are of equal length. Got it? Here we have a rhombus. It looks a bit like a square, doesn't it? Only it's been pushed to the side a bit. So let's have a look at what the properties of a rhombus are. A rhombus has all sides of equal length. The diagonally opposite sides are equal. So unlike the sides of a square, which are straight, the rhombus has diagonal sides. The two angles are acute and two are obtuse. The opposite sides are parallel, and the diagonals bisect each other at right angles. Did you know that another name that could be given to a rhombus is a parallelogram? Here we have a parallelogram. Now, like a square, does this parallelogram remind you of another shape? It's a bit like a rectangle, again tilted to the side a bit. So let's have a look at the properties. It has two pairs of equal parallel lines. Diagonally opposite angles are equal. It has two angles that are acute and two angles that are obtuse. A rhombus is a type of parallelogram. Here's another challenge out there. Which property means that not all parallelograms are rhombuses? Pause the video if you accept this challenge before hearing the answer. What was your answer? In a rhombus, all the sides are equal, whereas in a parallelogram, not all the sides are equal. Opposite sides are equal, a bit like a rectangle. Here we have a kite. Yes, it is like the kite that we all fly on a windy and sunny day. A kite has two pairs of equal and adjacent lines. The diagonals bisect each other at right angles, and one pair of opposite angles are equal. Last but not least, we have a trapezium. Now, if you have a look at the property of a trapezium, you can't see much, can you? The main property is that it has one pair of parallel lines. So if you can see, a trapezium can take different shapes. You've got three examples here. So if you're looking at a quadrilateral and it doesn't look like a kite, or has the properties of a kite, or a parallelogram, or a rhombus, or a rectangle, or a square, it's most likely a trapezium. But always check that it has one pair of parallel lines. Now let's play a game. Let's play a what am I game. Ready? I want you to pause the video when you need the time to think and start when you are ready. Okay, so I have four right angles, but my sides are not equal. What am I? Pause to think and start when you're ready. What did you guess? Well done. I am a rectangle. Ready? Remember to pause if you need to think and start when you are ready to hear the answer. So, my adjacent sides are of equal length and I have one pair of equal angles. What am I? Yes, I am a kite. Well done. Let's have another go. Remember to pause to think. All of my sides are equal and I have two acute angles. What am I? You got it right. I am a rhombus. Well done. Last round. I have one pair of parallel lines. What am I? I am a trapezium. Well done. Give yourself a pat on the back for the game and for the good thinking. For tricky, you can draw the table in your books, or if you're able to print it out, you can write on the sheets. So what you need to do is complete the boxes on the sheet with as many details as you can about each shape. So you've got a square, a rectangle, a parallelogram, and a rhombus. So if you need to go back and watch the properties of the slides again, you can. Trickier and trickier, today you are going to be grouping 2D shapes, so you have a bit more of shapes than what we have looked at today and yesterday. Trickier if you're a bit confused with some of the unfamiliar shapes, you can skip them and do the other shapes. So to do this challenge, you will need to create a table in your books, a bit like the one I have in the corner. And you need to choose 4 groups to sort your shapes into. So I5 was to have my groups, I would have shapes that has right angles, shapes that has more than 4 perpendicular lines, shapes which has no line of symmetry, and shapes which has less than 4 sides. So if you want to, you can draw the shapes into your book, or you can write the letter of the shapes. So if you have a look, each shape has letters. So once you've drawn your table, you can write the shapes in, or draw them in. Good luck. Okay, so if you have done today's challenges and you would like to challenge yourself a bit more, here are 2 extension questions that you could have a go at. So first, Amber says a square can sometimes be a rhombus. Do you agree? Explain why. Can you explain in your own words? The next question is, if all sides of a quadrilateral are equal length, then it must be a square. Is that true or false? Can you prove your answer with a drawing or with an explanation? You can write. Your choice. Okay, I just realised I must have said a lot of okays in this lesson. Oh, I've lost count. So to finish off our lesson today, we are going to play a true or false game. So I want you to pause the video when you need the time to think, or you can go through it with me once I do the questions and pause after every question to write down true or false. All quadrilaterals have at least 1 line of symmetry. True or false? All quadrilaterals have at least 1 pair of matching angles. True or false? Trapeziums have only 1 pair of parallel lines. True or false? A square could also be classified as a rectangle. True or false? All shapes with 4 right angles have 2 lines of symmetry. True or false? Here's the last one. The diagonals of a rectangle are always the same length. True or false? If you need more time to think, you can pause the video before you check your answers on the next slide. Good luck. Here are the answers. How did you do? Give yourself a pat on the back. Well done.